She is grown over here. She got her Jim Beam honey whiskey
on the rocks.
Okay.
On the rocks. Yes, boo.
Okay, are we ready now? Okay, all right, great. So, guys, welcome to another episode of On the Couch with DeAnna, with one of my newest favorite people in the whole wide world.
Right?
Yes, Miss Alana Higginbotham, and she is appropriately named the mental strategist. So welcome, Alana.
Thank you. I am so glad to be on the couch.
Yes, and this has been a labor of love because Miss Alana is a busy woman. Like, I met her 6-7 months ago at a conference. Yep, at a conference. And then she was one of my featured vendors at my women's conference this year, and has just been a force to reckon with. We do a monthly get together where we take, what is it, the last Monday?
Last Monday of the month. Fourth Monday.
Yep. And last time, normally, you get together, you do lunch, and that's kind of it. And Alana actually surprised me the last time, which goes along with, obviously, she is definitely the mental strategist. Because she said, honey, we're going to break it up. We're not doing lunch all the time.
Everybody does lunch.
Everybody does lunch, right? And I hadn't thought about that because typically my girlfriend's night is either lunch or dinner.
Or dinner or brunch.
Something like that, right? And she said, we're going to go play Escape the Room. And I was like, well, it's just two of us.
That was a bonding experience.
Oh my God, was it not?
Yes.
It was hilarious to see us running around this room. And Alana, I felt like, oh, well, Alana has done this enough times, so we should be good. Man, we just looked like some fish out of water, but
we did so good.
We did.
Because we actually came very close to getting out of the room. We had one step.
One block.
And then the timer went off, but the gentleman told us that actually it normally takes 10 people to get out of that room.
Hey, see, we smart.
Tell me what a brown girl can't do.
I know that's right. So let's jump right on in because I know my followers and your followers as well are anxious to hear all about Miss Alana. Alana also has a book that we're going to be discussing as well. And then I'm going to put her to the test since she is the mental strategist. And I've got some questions that kind of came in from some of my followers, some situations that they're going through to kind of see what advice, if they were on your couch, what advice would Alana?
Now, that's a surprise to me. This wasn't preempted.
No, it wasn't. I told her, I went through just a little bit of what we're going to discuss, but I left these questions last because I kind of put her in the hot seat to see how she does. So let's get into it. So, question number 1, Miss Alana. So who is Alana, and what led you to the path of becoming the mental strategist, and what does that actually mean?
So Alana is Alana Renee Higginbotham. Renee is actually my maiden name. I'm originally from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Okay.
And I am a mom to 2, wife to 1, and friend to many. And
let me stop you right there because when I read that in her bio, I had to laugh when she said wife to 1 because I started thinking, okay,
how many husbands? I mean, you got all this going on. It takes a team. It takes a team to handle all this. So I need to let them know it's only one man that's able to handle all this.
Hello, speak up.
One man. And so who Alana Higginbotham really is at her core is I am very compassionate and very focused on helping women.
Okay.
And it dates all the way back to when I was a very little girl and I helped my mom through some of the challenges that she was having. So my mom and I and my mom would agree to this, we kind of almost grew up together.
Okay.
Like my mom was, I wouldn't say she was young when she had me because she was in her early 20s, but still growing into a woman herself, but at the same time helped me to grow into the woman that I am.
Okay.
And so that is who Alana is. The mental strategist became something that I essentially took my life's experience because I can actually remember being 5 years old, DeAnna, and giving advice to an adult about something.
Really?
Right? Being in kindergarten and being like, you shouldn't do X, Y,
So
Z.
sort of like how the old folks, so you got old soul. That old soul.
That's right.
Okay.
I can remember many years ago sitting in a hairstylist chair and her saying, you sound like you've spent time with some old folks. And I literally said to her in my early 20s, I said, I've spent time at the feet of Jesus.
Yo,
that's the old folks.
Mm-hmm.
On top of, I have there's not one woman on either side of my family that is not a powerful ball buster.
Okay.
Oh,
So you had no choice but to evolve that way.
It's no passive women in my family, okay? They may have their moments where they allow themselves to be passive, but you about to get all this black girl magic at every turn. And so how the mental strategist came to be is through that. I just essentially took who I actually am and who I've been my whole life and turned it into a platform to be able to reach many people on a more calculated basis, you know, because I talked women through divorce that I just met by frozen pizzas in the grocery store. And so I just have a compassion, you know, for me, you know, yourself personally, you and I really, it's kind of weird that we just met because it feels like we've been knowing each other.
Absolutely.
But there have been times where you and I've had dialogue about some deep things.
Yeah.
And so what
that I don't normally tend to share.
Right.
And not because I don't want to share, but you almost have to have a kindred spirit near you or right in front of you that can get what you're saying
so
without you
oh
my God, without you having to tell the whole story, because I'm not the person that wants to tell you from A to Z. I kind of want to get through the parts and get to where it is. And we've had conversations where I can't even fully get it out, and you can already comprehend, and you already know. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a gift that I have to be able to, in all situations really, but particularly with women, particularly with moms. Now I do have male clients.
Okay.
But I am able to look at a situation and see everything in the picture, so to speak, right? I can look at a picture and tell where you were, what time of day it was, what day of the week it was, you know, that's just an example. And so I essentially decided one day I need to turn this into a platform.
Right.
And I mentioned to beautiful Naya earlier that sometimes, Naya is her daughter, for those of you that don't know, that sometimes in life what is more powerful than knowing what you want is knowing what you don't want.
Absolutely.
And so oftentimes when I'm teaching or I'm sharing a message, I talk about what it is not. And so I'll tell you what a mental strategist is not. A mental strategist is not a mentor.
Okay. Y'all getting this?
I'm not a mentor, I am not a counselor, and I'm not a therapist.
Okay.
What I am is I essentially operate as a coach.
Okay.
I am, you know, by trade, I am a certified life coach. But as a mental strategist, which is a term that I coined myself, there are no other mental strategists that exist. I am the first. And what a mental strategist does is essentially take you from where you are to where you want to be, minus a lot of the fluff.
Okay.
So a therapist is someone you're going to talk to about your feelings, your emotions, how they came to be. We may touch on that briefly in my getting you to your next goal.
Okay.
But what a mental strategist is we strategize with your mind.
So you're looking at the here and now, where you are right now in this situation, whereas like you said, a therapist, they may take you back to the childhood days, right?
They spend a lot of time
a whole lot of time. My mother's going through that, so yes, they spend a lot of time decoding, oh my goodness, all of that. And so you could be in therapy for years and years before you ever really get to where you are in your current space, in your current mind.
Achieving a goal. See, the therapy is kind of like going to rehab. So you have a muscle that you need to basically relearn how to use.
Okay.
And that's what therapy is.
Right.
I am a huge advocate for therapy.
Right.
I particularly shout it from the highest mountaintop in the Black community because it's not something that we.
Oh yeah, we just go to Jesus. Just
That's
pray
it.
about it.
Right. Now we don't go to Jesus when our allergies is active.
Right, exactly.
Or we got a bone sticking out of the side.
Right.
But we do go to Jesus
for therapy.
Right. And we're joking about that, but it really is how we do it. And so it is my belief that your mental strategy is the one thing missing from everything. So if you're whatever you're trying to do, whether you're trying to get better at something, whether you're trying to increase, decrease, stay the same, how you strategize your thoughts, understanding your thoughts, where they come from, is the one way that will get you breakthrough in every area of your life. Parenting, marriage, weight loss, all that type of stuff. Your career, everything.
Well, that's good because that actually kind of leads, it's a seg into Alana, for those of you that aren't following, we will definitely make sure that before we wrap up that all of my followers know exactly where to go and get in contact with Miss Alana. Follow her. She's always got all kinds of great tidbits, and she is just a ball of fire. But I swear, actually, I was talking about Alana to someone that had been at my conference, and they didn't say the lady that wrote the book. They said, "Oh, you talking about the lady that's a comic?" And I was like, "Yeah, she a comedian, ain't she?" I was like, "No, she's not a comedian, but she is funny." So
I've been called a lot of things, but hey, yeah, that is on my bucket list.
It is?
Stand-up comedy is on my bucket
Well, girl, you right. You on your way. You on your way. So we'll make sure that you definitely know. But I want to talk about, because Alana recently wrote a book, and it's called The Mental Breakdown. So make sure everyone gets a picture of this. And so I want you to kind of tell us about what was the premise behind the book, and then what you hope when a reader reads it, what do they actually do with this information?
Okay, great question. So this is how the book was birthed. For those of you that don't know, I'm a stay-at-home homeschool mom. That's like what I was before I launched the mental strategy, mental strategist persona. And
you homeschool both your boys.
My 16-year-old and my 11-year-old.
Wow.
And so we are embarking on year 9, right? Year 9, yes. So, God, I can't believe that.
I know, right?
My son's about to be in the 11th grade.
And girl, you must have some patience.
I don't.
Because there is no way
But what I do have is Jesus. I have Jesus and margarita. And occasional French fries with chili cheese on top.
And you had to have something.
Listen. I used to try to pretend like I had it all together. It was so simple and easy. It is not. Okay.
Right.
The hardest student you will ever tutor is your own child, because your expectations for them and your level of patience for them is nothing when it comes to other people. I'm way nicer to other people.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah.
Because they don't have my lineage at stake.
Yeah, and they don't have that. What do we say? I don't care how you act in this house, but when you leave here, you are a representation
of the Higginbotham family.
Yes, do not soil our name.
And we talk about leadership all the time. I tell my children that leadership is their birthright, because all of their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents were all in leadership roles.
Wow.
Every single one of them.
Wow.
So
it's in their DNA.
It's in their DNA. Yeah. So you come through and you're not in leadership, you tripping.
Yeah, something wrong.
So this is literally what I thought. As a homeschool mom, I've always been a go-getter. Before I stopped working to be a stay-at-home mom, I was in real estate.
Okay.
And then I also became an entrepreneur, where I opened up my own makeup artistry and fashion styling company.
Oh wow, jack of all trades.
Yes, you know. So I was in a place recently, a few months before the book came out, and I thought to myself, what can I do to monetize myself? I want to,
because this knowledge didn't come free to you.
No,
absolutely.
As a matter of fact, you get it at a huge discount.
Right.
42 years worth of hard knocks life.
Yes.
Bumping my head many times.
Yes. Falling and having to pull yourself back
when
up.
they say blood, sweat, and tears, I can attest to that being true. So I said, how can I monetize myself? Because I want to bring some extra income in. I don't want to stop homeschooling my children. How can I monetize myself? What do I have that's valuable? First thing I go to is my trade, how I know how to do makeup and style people. I was a fashion stylist for many years. I still consider myself to be, right, because that's in the future. I'm gonna have businesses underneath the Renee Higginbotham brand.
Okay.
And I said to myself, how can I do this? And I thought, I'll write an ebook. Because that's what we do. We shoot low.
We shoot low.
I'm gonna write an ebook, and then that way people can download it while I'm sleeping, and I can wake up. Ebooks anywhere from $7.99, $8.99 type of thing, which is a bit of a segue because I'm actually going to be releasing my downloadable version of
the mental breakdown.
Next week.
Okay.
And so I said, I'm gonna write an ebook. So I banged out an ebook. And I consulted some business coaches, and I said, okay, I'm going to get myself a marketing team. And the marketing team is essentially a group of diverse people that are basically your target market.
Okay.
You let them read your book.
Okay.
And they give you their feedback. You give them a book for free as an appreciation. And so dealing with this, working with this business coach, I found myself an editor for the ebook, all these things. or actually pointed myself in the direction I had someone to edit the ebook and do the cover.
Okay.
And so sent it out to all these women, professional, different varying backgrounds, socioeconomic, different levels. Every single one of them said the same thing.
It needs to be a book.
It needs to be a book. I want more. After I read your book, I felt like I wanted more. I felt like I felt like, ooh, I feel like I need to learn more about this chapter. And see, one of the things about my book is I didn't want it to be a lot of pages. Because I know as women, the last thing you want somebody to tell you is that your breakthrough is in 270 pages.
Yes, child. Or when am I going to find the time to actually be able to read it?
When chapter 1 is more pages than this whole book. So I wanted it to be a small book able to be put in your purse, laptop bag, in your desk drawer. And I wanted it to be easy to read.
And it is, guys, as you can tell.
Very simple. I keep one with me at all times. Because I am a student of my work. I go back and I have to remind myself many times. And so that's how it happened. I wrote the ebook. After I wrote the ebook, I showed it to my business coach and she was like, yeah, they're right. So in my mind, she's going to help me launch my ebook.
Right.
But what actually happened is she said you need to turn this into a regular book. She connected me. I got connected with an editor and someone to do my cover, but I was still at a loss for how the heck to turn it into more pages. And I was like, okay, I get what everybody is saying, but I found myself with this very short deadline because it was under 2 weeks to turn it from an ebook to a regular book.
Wow.
It was also during the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. So I was like, how am I going to do this? And then I remembered a woman that I met who she helps people go from blank paper to a book ready to be published in 8 weeks.
In 8 weeks, okay.
So I said, I'm going to contact her. I don't even know if she does this. But because she met me and she knew that I was serious, she made an exception and she spent 30 minutes with me online and gave me the tools to take 50 pages and turn them, or really it was more like 20 pages, and turn it into 70 pages.
And it's crazy, guys, because that's exactly, I wasn't one of her test ladies, but I did get a free copy of your ebook. And I actually thought, but without even knowing it, I said, oh, this has to be the prelude to a book. Because I just felt like, oh, she just giving me a teaser. So I get on her mailing list, and now all of a sudden it's gonna be, okay, DeAnna, I got a book now. I need to buy the book.
I was thinking this big.
Yeah.
Here's the ebook.
That's it. But I felt the exact same way after reading it. I was like, okay, like you did, it was cliffhangers. You left us there with enough to even, from different backgrounds, from the high-level CEO to women that have children, don't have children, to you're in a marriage, you're trying to be married, you were divorced, and you're trying to figure out what life is. There was
single.
Just all of that allowed anyone to be able to read even those first few pages and say, okay, she's somewhat talking about me.
Right.
And now that she's talking about me, what am I supposed to do?
I'm intrigued.
Right, exactly. So you did an excellent job of getting us on the hook and bought in. So one question, that the other part of the question was, what do you hope when readers actually read your book? What do you hope that they take away from it?
My main hope, my biggest hope, is that when readers read this book, they take away the idea that, oh crap, I can do this. So I don't have to rush out and spend tons of money. And it's fine if you do, because like I said earlier, I'm an advocate for therapy.
Right.
I wanted women to read this and go, oh shit, she did what I did.
Right. But not everyone, here's the thing, not everyone has access to being able to a therapist, or even a good therapist, or know where to go, or sometimes it's, I just don't know where I'm going to find that time to be able to do it. So it is good to have people like you and resources like yours, even if it's just let me get my mind to start thinking a different way.
Absolutely.
Which then may eventually let me parlay my way into therapy or group sessions.
And for some people, that's going to be enough.
Right.
For some people, this book, $20 is all they need, because they have in them to go further. They're reading between the countless lines in the book.
This is the reminder.
Yeah.
This is the check.
So for them, $20 on this book is all they'll ever need.
Right.
But for other people, they're going to need my 21-day mindset makeover.
Exactly.
They're going to need my retreat. They're going to need my mastermind course. They're going to need all these other things and a therapist.
Right.
And so I have all those offers.
All those offers.
Yes.
Okay. So as a reader, because I I was trying to, I don't know if I was, I've never asked her to confirm it, but when she told me that it was going to be a book, I had set myself a reminder for when it was going to go live because I was trying my best to be the first person to purchase.
Yes. I love it.
I was trying, and I immediately sent her a message and said, I got it. Couldn't wait to get it, wait to read it. I've read it. This is probably, I refreshed my memory in preparation for this. Was probably my third time.
I love it.
And again, because it is such an easy read, but because I'm an avid reader, I'm a fast reader. And what I notice sometimes is, you know how sometimes you can just read through something and you don't really grasp what
it's just the introduction.
Pages, right. And then I have to go back and I may have to break the chapters down. So now I can kind of take a moment. I've got things highlighted in here. I've got things written. Yeah, so that it'll make me go back and look at it. But I wanted to personally, and for my followers and yours, give a true, honest opinion of what I thought about the book. So the one thing that I like is chapter 1 opens with how your thoughts become things. And so for my followers that haven't, I wanted to read just a little small part of her chapter 1, and it says, have you noticed that what you focus on manifests in your life? Actually, what you focus on is magnified. It was there all along, but your focus on it brings it from the background into the foreground. And here's an example. This is the other thing I like about Alana's book is she doesn't just give you some information and then you try to figure out, okay, well, what does she mean? She gives you some real life situations that get you to that aha moment.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things, and this has happened to me every time I get a new car. She says, here's an example. You recently bought a Lexus. Suddenly you see them everywhere. There has not been a dramatic increase in your area in Lexus ownership over the past year. It's just that you more clearly see the ones that have always been around you. So that's profound. Because
you're giving me goosebumps.
I know, but every time, I know, right? I'm a good reader, child. I'm a good reader. I know how to emphasize on things.
It's different when it comes from somebody else's perspective.
Right. And the other, so then she goes on, let's take it a step further. She says, so the pool of great guys was always there right next to the toxic guys all along.
They're actually friends in most cases.
Yes, but you're so focused on the bad relationship you might have come out of, the bad relationship you're in now, the how do I start all over again, when this seems to be all I attract.
You're so focused on how they don't measure up.
Right.
That you keep producing more that don't measure up.
Don't measure up. She says, there's no shortage of good jobs or great girls. Your mental focus is what creates the landscape of your life. Is sort of like a magic trick. So and that's her opener, guys. Like if that right there doesn't tell you that this is definitely a book that you're going to be able to relate to as you continue to go through it, things that you're able to easily apply. She makes it real life right now. She speaks to every age group. That's
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah, that I like about it. The
a lot of millennial followers.
Oh yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's crazy because we sometimes, I know having children that are in the millennial age, they seem to sometimes give me this, especially my oldest son gives me this perception that I got it all together. There's no problems, no issues. But for us to have deep conversations and to kind of take away from, I'm not your mother, I'm not talking to you as your mother now. Now I'm just talking to you, it's the friend zone. Like really tell me what's going on. And to hear, we had a conversation a couple of weeks ago where he says, I just don't want you to worry. And I say, but I worry because you don't tell me what's going on, right? So that's good to know that you speak to the millennials as well. Maybe do some sessions with my son.
Listen, yeah, look, he already made me one of the best old fashions I've ever had to date. Don't sleep on them Japanese old fashions, okay?
Okay. So, all right. So the other thing Alana does with her book. So after she takes us on, and these are her words, guys, and I absolutely love it. She calls it head trash.
That's an industry term.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So when she takes us on this head trash journey through our mind, she then drives it home with story times. And one of the story times that I want to quickly read you, just a small piece of it is, when she talks about how your thoughts become things, and based on the information I just read to you, she says, it works like your Netflix account. So based on the things you've chosen in the past, your account gives you suggestions of what to watch next. So expand on that, because I really, 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 I like that whole analogy. I like that it's relatable.
It's very graphic. Like
Yes.
like when I say it, when you read it, you visualize yourself sitting in front of the screen,
Yeah.
seeing your little icon with the suggestions for what you should watch next.
Yeah.
And it's based on it's essentially an algorithm based on your behavior.
Yeah.
So based on how you behave on Netflix, it suggests other things for you. It's not that those suggestions are new. Some of the things that it suggests for you have been on Netflix for years.
Right.
But based on your current behavior, Netflix makes suggestions to you. And life is very much like that as well. So what we will do is, based on our current behavior, the universe gives us what it is we're focused on. So if you are someone who loves good old comedies, Netflix is going to give you lots of great comedies. If you love good old dramas, Netflix is going to suggest to you, based on your Netflix behavior, dramas that you can watch and be a part of. Same thing when it comes to your life. You're trying to figure out why you can't get a good job. You're trying to figure out why you maybe love the company you work for, but every time you get a new manager, you can't stand them. How you behave creates what you see on the outside of you.
Wow.
And so how you choose things, i.e. with your thoughts, because a lot of people say you have what you say, and the truth is you have what you think.
Oh.
So even if it never comes out of your mouth,
but you've been thinking,
you're saying it to yourself.
Just subconsciously.
Subconsciously you're saying it to yourself. For instance, a lot of women struggle with body image, right? And so you've been telling yourself that you're too fat for the last 20 years, only to one day look back at a high school photo and go, damn, look how skinny my neck is.
Yes.
Or as some friends of ours, we say, this is back when we had necks.
Oh my God.
And so I look at, I did it to myself, my weight, I'm a very confident woman, and I carry my physical in a very confident way.
Oh, yes, you do.
However, it is an area that I have struggled with, and I am in the process of utilizing these same principles in that area of my life as well. And so, it's little by little. You're not going to be perfect 360 all the way, from jump. But essentially, when I gave that example, I give real world examples. Like there's an example that I am giving in there. I'm literally writing it as it's happening.
Oh, wow.
I'm literally sitting in my kitchen as the example is unfolding around me.
Wow.
And I'm typing it into the example.
Wow.
So when you read this book, you literally take a piece of me. So when you get this book, you're not getting, a lot of information or a lot of data.
Right.
You're literally getting the smallest portion of me that you possibly can. This is the baseline. The $20 book is what starts you off on your way.
Okay.
So that's how I came up with it. It just essentially, it's one of those things where I easily connected the two. Your Netflix account and your life.
So I'm curious, we've got followers in here. Hi, Christy. Yes, head trash. She said she loved
Is that Christy?
Yeah, she said I love her explanation too. So I'm just curious, any of our followers, can you relate to what Alana was saying? Like, can you visualize where, all of a sudden something you've been thinking about, it manifests itself, you see it more out there, it starts kind of coming back to you in a way that you don't necessarily want it to be there. But then when it does happen to you, what do you do?
Yeah, you think it's just life. Most of us think it's just life. And most of us, particularly in the African American community, which I talk about a lot because I'm a part of it, we are real good at survival.
Oh, yes.
We know how to survive, not so much how to thrive.
Oh.
And so because of that...
But we can almost confuse ourselves into thinking that because we're surviving, we actually are thriving.
And you know why? Because the struggle is real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it doesn't always have to be real.
Right.
The truth of the matter is, somebody can give you something that you did not specifically work for. Because That's just how life works.
It works.
I was recently given my own radio show.
Yes, we want to make sure that everybody hears all about that because that's phenomenal.
It was given to me. Mm-hmm. I did not seek out the radio station. Oftentimes when you have a platform like this, you pay the radio station for you to be able to have this platform. I did not pay them.
Wow.
They gave it to me, but what I am mature enough to know is, although I did not work for the specific radio gig, I put in a hell of a lot of hard work
to be seen, to be noticed, to be contacted,
to live in my truth.
Absolutely.
And so, oftentimes, I know many people who have passed up great opportunities because it wasn't enough struggle in it.
Really?
I know many people who have passed up their healing because they felt like, oh, it's supposed to take a long time to get over.
Oh, it just can't be that easy.
It can't be. It can't be that easy to just get a divorce and then be happy.
And be happy.
Months.
Yeah.
Be fulfilled in 6 months. If you do the work, you can. If you're mature about the fact that you got work to do,
right.
Then the universe will show up in a way to give you your lesson. When the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Wow.
Every time.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. So then the other part of her book, I just can't tell you how, and simple not being in a derogatory way at all, because I know it was not simple at all to put all of this together.
But I say that all the time, that it is simple.
It is. It's just from how you laid it out, from what the chapter is about, to, like I said, giving the analogy, the real life experience to be able to relate to. And even if some of her stories in here didn't necessarily relate to me,
right.
They didn't necessarily apply to me. They didn't necessarily.
Specifically.
Yeah, right. But I could see it's crazy because when I went back for the third time and read it a different way and really said, okay, let me read it from, this isn't really for you, DeAnna, so to speak, but can you see anybody else in here that's close to me, a loved one, a friend that I feel might be going through some of these same situations? And then how do I interpret what they're going through, and where can I assist, or where can I offer some type of...
What piece can I take away from
Exactly. And it was crazy because on the story time, in each story time, there was different parts of it that I could relate to. But the other part that I like about her book, guys, is after each chapter, she actually makes you do a little bit of that work. She puts in here reflective exercises. And I just want, again, some of the exercises in here weren't necessarily ones that, and I only say didn't apply to me, I say in my current situation, because I can see where they may have applied in my 20s or my 30s, but where I am right now, there's one in here that really was profound to me, and it was, she's got on a piece of paper, list the top 5 things you would like to change in your life right now. On the same piece of paper, list the top 5 things you believe are holding you back from moving forward on those changes. If those hindrances did not exist, would you move forward on making the changes? And that's huge right there, because again, we get so focused on, yes, the things that we want to have change in our life, but we'll spend a lot more time on the other side of what's all standing in our way.
And we have to take inventory of it.
Yes.
Because it gives us an excuse for not achieving.
Yeah.
Because they say the biggest fear is not us failing. The biggest fear is us living up to our potential.
Our fullest potential.
Because the truth is, there's a lot of responsibility in there.
Yes. Because then once you do get it, or you achieve it, or you amass it, or whatever it happens, now you have to do more work to either keep it, sustain it, manifest it, scale it. There's a whole lot
and live
by it. Exactly.
Now I put this book out. Now I gotta wake up and I gotta make sure I put I lay my thoughts out.
Yep. And you gotta walk the talk too.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. You gotta walk the talk too. And then she says, draw a big X across the list of hindrances. Draw a circle around the things you wish to change. Read through that list 3 times. Put the paper away, sit back, close your eyes, and think about what your life would look like if all those things changed. And the key here was, as everybody knows, even when I've always heard that in order to change a bad habit, how many times you have to do something over and over again for that bad habit to go away. And that's one of the things that you you say. Do this for 60 seconds, but then continue to do it over and over again. Like, you just can't do the work and say, okay, well, Alana, I wrote all this down on a piece of paper, I crossed some stuff out, I did the circle, I closed my eyes for 60 seconds, and okay, you know, things supposed to happen.
And you saying that, like, obviously that's not the case, but there are grown folks
that think that
who
way.
think that way.
Yeah.
There are grown folks that I have encountered in my journey of trying to bring them to their best that literally say to me, I did it, and 2 weeks later, such and such, and I was like, but you're gonna have to do it for longer than that. It's
right.
not magic.
Right. Because 90% of the time, whatever got you in that situation or at that place was a whole lot of repetition going on. Whether it's you choosing the wrong mate, that wasn't the first time you chose the wrong mate. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, it's certain characteristics, it's certain things about certain people that draw to us.
That's right. We call things to us.
Yes.
There's something in us that calls things, because things in like, kind of like when you get up to the drive-thru and you order a combo, mm-hmm. there's certain things that come with each combo, and that's how life is. Mm-hmm. So there are certain things that come as a package deal, and so when you select this thing, it comes with these other things.
Right. And
that is how it operates in every case, and we don't understand that.
Right.
And so getting familiar with what we don't want, oftentimes, not necessarily focusing on it, because you manifest what you focus mm-hmm. on, but getting to what we don't want so we can know, okay, if that exists, I know that that's not the direction I need to go in. It just changes how you move, mm-hmm. essentially. When you tweak your mind and you tweak your thoughts, it changes how you move. And what I have found is, more often than choosing the wrong mate, we choose the wrong friends.
Really?
Because we have a little bit more of a wiggle room for a friend than we do for a mate. Because a mate is, you know, I got plans, right. I got my life, and these are things I want, these are things I want. We oftentimes let, particularly as women, men don't necessarily do this.
Yes. Yeah.
Men know, yeah, I can't fool with him, and I'm done. Women are like, but that's Aunt Martha's sister's granddaughter's friend. Right. And I'm going to see her at the 4th of July picnic every year, and none of that has anything to do with how toxic she is when you're in her presence.
Right.
But we don't vote for ourselves. We don't have the courage to vote for ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, let somebody try to pull one over on one of our babies.
Right. You get a whole different person.
Baby, I'm coming down fighting. I'll tell you right this minute, I know at least 10 people that's got 5 places I can hide the bodies.
Yeah.
So don't get it twisted.
And you can call me for your bail.
Listen, I'm here for it. I just look up, I'm gonna write that down. I tell people all the time, I didn't always live in a cul-de-sac. I didn't always live in a gated community. I done some living.
You done some living.
The hood is where I was raised. Okay? Don't get it twisted.
Oh my God. Okay. So, all right. So here's where we're going to get into. We got about 20 minutes left. So I have a really fun game that I think, it's somewhat of a game, but it is still serious because what we are talking about is still serious. May is Mental Health Month. Yes. Although I feel like every day of the entire year needs to be Mental Health Day.
Yes.
Because I don't think we concentrate on it enough.
From the real, regular, everyday part of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had a couple of questions that came in. And so the game is called, So You Say You Are the Expert, Then Help Me, Sis.
Okay, I love it.
And so, even though Alana made the very clear distinction that she's not a therapist, I still feel that some parts of what you do can be very therapeutic.
Yeah, I can coach you.
Yeah, coach, yeah. Right. So looking at it from that standpoint, some of the questions almost, now that I kind of look at it and you explain, which is why I asked the question, what is the mental strategist? How did that come about? Some of it may seem a little like, therapy type questions, but I'm going to
answer from a coaching
perspective. Please do. Okay, so I'm always the go-to person in my family for advice, money or resources. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how to say no without fearing disappointment from them. What do I do?
Okay, first of all, the key is you have a need to be needed. You find strength in being able to be there for people. The caveat is, years ago when you first stepped into this role, keep that in mind, you stepped into this role. Years ago when you first stepped into this role, it was fulfilling to you.
Right.
You liked wearing that cape. But now it has crossed the borderline into depletion.
Wow.
And so now you have given so much that you are now being depleted, and you have taught everyone around you that you are the ATM.
Mm-hmm.
You are the therapist. So here's what you have to do. You have to find the courage to vote for yourself and say no.
Mm-hmm. I believe in that. Y'all know I do that post and how powerful. It's amazing how the
It is a
two
complete
levels-
sentence.
It is. And I tell people, I say, when you say it, this is the hardest part, and I had to learn this.
Because you feel like this person.
Oh, yeah,
You feel like they're going to be disappointed, they're going to be mad,
Yeah.
but trust me,
Yeah.
if they leave you because you said no, they were never meant to be in your midst to begin
Yeah.
with.
And knowing that when you say no, what I would find in this situation is, once I got the courage to know how to say no, 10 minutes later, I have given examples, I've explained my no. To the next thing I know, I done talked myself into a yes.
You better tell the people.
I've talked
Yes.
myself into a yes, and the whole time that I am talking myself into a yes, I literally felt like I was dragging a body as I was getting to this yes. And then I walked
And they let you
away.
talk, didn't they?
Ooh,
They
honey.
just said that they ain't never been so quiet their whole life.
Sat there and and yeah, and you know I need this, and you know I'm gonna make this change, and so they're adding the words to co-sign on me getting to this yes, and then afterwards I'd spend several hours like literally depressed in the sense of how the hell did I get here?
And you're already depleted before you have
Yes.
Before you've made the deposit, before you've baked the cupcakes, you're already depleted.
Yes.
And here's a trick as well. Instead of saying no, what you can say is that's not going to work for me.
For me.
Because
okay,
what
that's
I-
nicer.
Well, it's not even just about being nicer. It's a little bit more definite.
Definite.
Because when you say, oh no, that's not going to work for me, then what happens is when you tell somebody no, they think their job is to get you to a yes.
Yes, right.
So like for instance, you have somebody from the church call and they need you to volunteer for something to stuff the bags for the Easter egg hunt. And I had this situation happen. They want me to stuff the bags for the Easter egg hunt on Tuesday, and then on Monday we're dyeing the eggs. On Tuesday we're stuffing the bags for the Easter egg hunt, and then on Wednesday we're doing something with the Easter bunny.
Okay.
Right. And so I get a text message with those three options, and I said, "Oh no, that's
not gonna work.
oh no, I can't do that." Or no, I'm not gonna be able to do that. The response from the other person was, "None of them? You can't do none of them?" And so
It's like your initial response to it wasn't clear enough.
It wasn't because this person is a taker.
Oh.
This person has a goal, and you really can't even be mad at them. They have a goal. Their goal is to fill up the volunteer spots for these 3 days. And when that person said that, I very clearly said to them, no, that's not going to work for me. And that's not going to work for me just meant it's not going to work for me. It doesn't mean that I don't have time to do it. I got time. I just don't have time for that.
That's right.
So when you tell someone that's not going to work for me, in most cases, you're less apt for them to try to get you to a yes.
Oh.
So when you say no,
So anybody watching this that know me, if I say that to you, I'm blaming this on love.
yeah, if she tells you it's not gonna work for me, hang up the phone and say thanks, sis. Because you don't want to get me involved.
I'm just gonna call Alana.
You don't wanna get
I'm like, Alana, I tried it, and they still coming for me.
Yeah. And sometimes that's great. That's a great response because sometimes we say that, but there's something in us that's calling them to
Yeah.
But if you just keep pressing, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You have to resolve within yourself that I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. And you have to be fulfilled with what you have to start doing is you have to start thinking, you have to start visualizing Maya. And you have to, what's your son's name?
Jordan and
DJ. You have to start thinking about them. You have to start thinking, you know what, my time is more valuable. Because sometimes the reason why you can't do it is because you need to be laid up on the sofa with that man of yours.
Yeah.
Because that is a deposit far greater than any bag you're going to secure.
Whew, honey, you right. You speak on it, child.
Listen.
Speak on it.
Okay, next question.
I told you.
Before Instagram cut us off.
Cut us off. Right. Okay, so I'm stuck in a marriage or relationship where we just have contempt for each other. No one wants to make the hard decision to end it, but I am slowly dying inside. What's wrong with me?
There's nothing wrong with you, but you do have a challenge. And your challenge is being true to yourself. In 2 months, look at that calendar. Today is the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
If 2 months from now on the 19th it still hadn't gotten better and the other party is not trying to do anything, I'm an advocate for coming together and working shit out.
Right, absolutely.
But you can only do that if two parties are
Absolutely.
right. And the other parties, if you have kids, your kids been knowing y'all shit ain't straight.
Honey,
They been knowing.
Don't be thinking even if y'all been taking it to the bedroom or
So stop lying to yourself that
yes.
you're doing this for the kids. Because what you're doing is you're teaching your children what to accept in a relationship.
Speak on it. And then we wonder why, as they get older, why women have, so what they call daddy issues, or men don't know how to treat women, again, because of what they've learned.
That's right.
In the house.
And also to the fathers out there, a lot of men think if I treat my daughter like a queen, she gonna find a man that's gonna treat her like a queen. No, because you're daddying her.
Yeah.
You need to show her what a husband looks like, what a man looks like, because it's many a spoiled daughter that end up with an asshole for a husband.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if that's who you are being and you're showing her that's what that looks like, I don't care.
Or she ends up with her daddy. The version of her daddy through and through.
The version of daddy that you've been trying to hide.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay, so last one is, I have a family member that suffers from mental illness, and I'm starting to sacrifice my own sanity by supporting them, and scared I may end up the same way. How do I protect my mental wellness and still be there for them?
Okay, this is what you need to do. You have this list of priorities, and what it sounds like is you're not just right here under your family member with mental illness, you're way down here. Because it's likely the person that we're talking about, they sound like a nurturer. So it's likely that they have children and, other people that they nurture. Maybe they're a school teacher. Maybe they're, over a girls organization. They have other people that they nurture. So what you're doing is you're putting yourself way at the bottom. And you are ill-equipped to be there for that mental illness person. That you're ill-equipped to be there for them in the capacity that they actually need it. I hate to use it because it's cliche, it's even kind of corny these days, but there's a reason why the flight attendant tells you to put on your mask first. Because if the air compression in the cabin changes, it's a lot more likely that the baby sitting in your lap is going to need you before you need them. Okay?
Yeah.
And so whoever that person is in your life, you need to stop looking at their mental illness like it's a mental illness and look at it like they have cancer, diabetes, some kind of physical ailment, because that becomes easier.
Right.
Because you begin to manage it like it's an illness.
Right.
When you look at it like her mind ain't right, if I could just bring back the light in her eyes, if I could just make him, talk to me and remember more, because there's Alzheimer's, all kinds of stuff. If you focus on that mental illness like it's a physical illness, it'll bring a lot more clarity and it'll take a lot of guilt
away
off of you.
Okay.
Because usually if you're related to the person, you begin to ask yourself, that one time I came in late when I was a teenager.
Did I contribute to it?
And if it's a parent, all those times my parent was there for me.
Oh my goodness.
Now I can't be there for them. And the truth of the matter is you are ill-equipped to do so unless you take care of yourself first. So your parent, cousin, brother is counting on you to put down their needs for just a moment and focus on your own needs so that you can come through with the power and the focus that they need. That's what you want to give them.
Right. You don't want to give them the shortness, the attitude,
You're frustrated because they're not progressing.
Right. And
you're denying yourself. I've seen in a lot of cases where patients with mental illness will deny physical assistance. They don't want to take the medicine. They don't want the ointment for their, ailment or whatever. But it's because their mind's not right. And if your mind ain't right, then you're gonna be pissed off at it. And that's not gonna help. And they're gonna check out a lot sooner than they leave this earth.
Okay. Whew, guys, let me tell y'all, I feel like, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I done about had me an hour of therapy.
Free coaching session.
But I did feed her, and I gave her
She did.
some delicious
delicious salad and lasagna, and this Jim Beam honey on the rocks is all I had hoped it would be.
So I did a little bit.
You did your part.
Okay, so we're gonna recap because we have we got 7 minutes, Miss Alana. So, because this is extremely important, where can my viewers find you and your service?
Okay, so Alana Higginbotham is enough
Yeah.
to undertake. Therefore, I am Alana Higginbotham everywhere. AlanaHigginbotham.com. info@AlanaHigginbotham.
Okay.
I am also Alana Higginbotham on Instagram. I'm Alana Higginbotham on Facebook. There's an Alana Renee Higginbotham on Facebook. That's my personal account.
Okay.
Just go to Alana Higginbotham and like the page.
Okay.
I am also Alana Higginbotham on Twitter.
Okay.
And I am Alana Higginbotham sitting here on the couch with DeAnna.
Okay. But she also, as she mentioned, in case some of y'all came in late, because this is extremely important. I'm so excited about it because I can't wait to tune in tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
my radio show.
And tell them what the name of the radio show is.
Okay, so the name of the radio show is Alana, Outrageous and Uncut, and it is on vinyldraftradio.com.
Okay.
Now, draft is spelled D-R-A-U-G-H-T. It's actually how the Brits spell draft, right, when it comes to beer, right? So it's vinyldraftradio.com, D-R-A-U-G-H-T, and you can actually download the app.
Okay.
Download the app. I am on every Monday at 11 a.m. starting tomorrow, and you can actually set yourself a reminder that your phone will come on
when you
at 11 a.m. when I hit the airwaves.
Guys, you all know my platform is all about women's empowerment, and if I haven't shown enough on the couch and things that I talk about, yes.
I gotta go pee.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll be right back.
While she goes. So if it wasn't, I want you all to know that when I say I promote and I really push for women's empowerment, how we need to be there to support each other and uplift each other, please make sure, guys, you go and support her. We need to make sure that she stays on the radio, and the only way that's going to happen is if we show up and show out for Alana. So make sure that you go and start following her. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow. I know her show, just like how she's got it uncut and outrageous. That's exactly what you're going to get. So make sure you support her as well. I'm going to wait till she gets back because I do have a couple more questions for her that I want to make sure that she answers for y'all too. So hopefully we won't get cut off. But let me go take a look and see if we had any... Oh, Christy said this book spoke to me about making adult decisions in my 7-year-old mind frame. Wow moment. Great. We are addicted to the long process. Yes, we are, Christy. Let's see. Hey, Miss Sexford. All right, so I'll make sure too, guys, just so y'all know, I'll put this plug in here. I now have a YouTube channel as well. I'm so grateful to my son and his girlfriend. They are the ones running all the behind the scenes camera for us as well. They do the picture and they do the editing for the video. So about within 48 hours, right, Maria? Okay, we'll have this segment up so that if you did miss it or you want to share it, please share it with anybody you think it would be profound and meaningful to. You can go to my YouTube channel and it'll be up. I'll also make a post when it's officially up there as well. Okay, so real quick, Alana, are your coaching services primarily for women or do you coach men as well?
Well, my client base is primarily women because that's who's attracted to me. But I coach men as well.
Okay.
Anytime I have a man that comes to me for coaching, I know he's serious.
Yeah, because most men don't.
They're not going to do that. Yeah.
So 50 years from now, what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
The legacy that I hope to leave behind when I look 50 years from now is one, a personal legacy. Okay. One of my personal goals is to eliminate financial woes from my lineage. Yeah. So I feel like there's so many other things out there that keep us from living our dreams. That when it comes time for it, I don't want anyone with my last name to ever concern themselves with, can I go to college? Can I get this? Can I get that?
Speak on it.
Yeah. So that's and in building that, this is a business.
Right.
I absolutely love affecting people's lives and my main focus are the people. But I am also doing this as a
hello. Yeah.
I'm not a volunteer.
You can't leave them some type of legacy or wealth or anything like that if you're not making sure you're securing this bag.
I found out that the bank does not take Instagram likes
or IOUs.
They don't take congratulations for payments. Right. So and in 50 years, my goal is that the landscape of our world looks at mental health like it's just a regular normal, like we get flu shots. My goal is that just like you have a school counselor, there is a therapist or life coach in every school, in every job.
Yes.
That should be something that's a part of our world.
Yeah, even at church.
Yes.
Yeah.
A real live life coach.
Yeah. Okay, so last thing, any parting words for my viewers that you would like to share?
Well, I want to tell you that you guys are in the right place, that you need to stick and stay with Miss DeAnna Green because she is on her way. She's already kicking ass and taking names in the short time that this Let's Be Raw has been your, brainchild. It's been in you for years.
Yeah, it has.
But once you finally let it out, you might want to jump on the wagon now because in just a few short, I won't even say years, in just a few short months, it's going to be bigger than the both of us.
Yeah.
And so
I received that.
Hello. It's on its way.
Right.
You went from 160 followers to 400 and some followers like that.
Yeah.
And if what you want in life is real change that's going to last, authenticity and transparency is the main ingredient to that. Whether you even subscribe to what it is we talk about, whether you're a proponent of this particular platform, seek out transparency and authenticity, and your life will always bring you joy.
I don't know. I can't say anything else. That was perfect. So, guys, until next time, Miss Alana, thank you so much
You
for
are
being
so welcome.
here.
I've enjoyed myself.
Absolutely, girl. It's a hoot. This my sister over here.
Yes.
For real. So anyway, so until next time, when we're back on the couch with DeAnna, please again start following Alana. Tune in tomorrow, guys. And Alana, one other thing, Alana is looking for questions. So if you're really kind of going through some things, you're kind of stumbling over something, something just happened recently. If you go to her page, she's actually looking for questions, and she's gonna talk about them live on her radio show.
Absolutely will.
So again, free therapy, guys. Free
Come
therapy.
on.
So, all right, talk to y'all later. Bye bye.